and we'll try to get that posted online for everybody to see. So we're going to try to have this at 90 minutes long. If you have video and you can use it, please do, so we kind of get to know you. And if you're not sharing, kind of mute your mic, because you know, dogs in the background, buses going by, that kind of thing, can, particularly if we had a large group of people, but I think we're good right now. So tonight we're going to spend a few minutes, we've kind of already gone through the introductions, and we've got, we're going to go over the agenda. We're going to, which is this. We've got some Elementor news. Brian, you'll see I popped that up a little bit and bumped the Elementor and Woocommerce down a bit as I started going through what all I wanted to cover. It sort of balanced out that way, because we're going to do Elementor news. We're going to talk about Elementor and Woocommerce, just the real basics, because there's a lot about Woocommerce that you'd have to do. You could do a whole seminar on, and then we'll have some time for question and answers, and then we'll wrap everything up. Now, for I'm Kerry, and the co-host is Brian. Brian, raise your hand.
Hello.
Let's see. We got somebody else. Lucas is. Got somebody else named Lucas yet coming in. Okay.
It's me. I'm bringing it up on my computer screen so I can see the Elementor.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay. Okay. Elementor 2.1 or 2.10 basically dropped 2 days ago. I had seen some of the beta stuff, and when I was putting this together, I got an email from Elementor talking about it was out. And there's a couple of features that I wanted to go over with you that are kind of a big deal for this next version of Elementor. If you've got your Elementor Pro set up to get updates, you should have seen that as an update in the last 36 hours. This is Elementor Pro 2.10. First thing is something called Lottie files. And these are animations. And I'm going to show you that in a second. Escape out of. Got some feedback. So if you all can mute your file, mute your mics. Okay, I want to. We're going to go to. Anyway, let's go to Lottie files. Okay, let's go. Let's share screen. Okay, this is lottiefiles.com. You can see it up here, and this is how it works. I'm just going to go through it real quickly. You have, and y'all can go back and check it out and see all the new stuff, the things that they can do. But they have animations that are created by professionals and amateurs, and there's a lot of them that are free. And you have to sign up to get an account, but they're free. Let me see if I'm logged in. It looks like I am. So let's take this one here. And if you wanted to download, you can actually edit it. So let's go to edit color layers. And it kind of breaks down the different parts of the Lottie file, and you can play around with background colors and such. But just to show you how it works, I'm going to go to shoulder, and I'm going to change the color to, say, that yellow, and update. Seeing that yellow changed, and then I think table, I think there was, a thing, body. There we go. And I'm going to change that to the yellow. Hit update. So I can actually change and edit this in some ways. So then we take this and export it as a JSON file. And I'm going to export or download that. Okay, and so I'm going to save that in my hip pocket because we're going to come back to that later. So I'm going to get out of Lottie files. And now I'm going to go back to our agenda. And let's go here. So go back up. So we downloaded that JSON file, and we're going to hold on to that. And then these are real quick demos of how these two things work. The two new things, the multi-step forms and the Lottie files. But they have, I don't know if they have, yesterday they hadn't been put on anywhere like YouTube or anything, but these are quick walkthroughs on how to do it. And this would, let's see here. Can y'all hear that?
Using Elementor's body widget. Here we have a website, colorful PNG image of a cyclist on a bike. It has a motion effect applied to it so that the image appears to be gliding across the page as you scroll. But you know what would be even better? Have the cyclist appear suddenly while he glides across. Enter Lottie. Lottie animations are animations rendered from JSON files. Small in size, but large in impact. See there. Give us some elements.
Sorry about that, guys.
Image of a cyclist bike has a motion effect applied to it that the image appears to be sliding across the page as you scroll. But you know what would be even better? Have the cyclist appear to be pedaling the bike while he glides across.
Carrie, how heavy are those JSON files? Are they pretty heavy?
Very small.
They're very small.
Very small. Can y'all hear the audio on the animation?
Not just barely. Could you possibly put the links in the chat, and I guess we could view them later?
Yep. I sure will.
Drag in the body widget. We have two options for the source. We'll be using a media file for our final animation. But first, we'll go over the external URL option. For this option, we can use a link to an animation online. Let's visit the Lottie Files website and search for something that suits our page. The Lottie Files website has loads of free and paid files you can use on our website. This cycling file looks like it could work, and it's free. Open it. Click the clipboard under Lottie Animation URL to copy the link.
Of course, we can see that this is
External
what we were
URL,
doing.
and the animation is loaded. Right in the editor, you have a variety of settings and styling options, which we'll go over shortly in the next animation. Switch to media file for the source and click the icon to upload your JSON file. If it's the first time you've uploaded a JSON file, you'll get this warning. Before clicking enable, please make sure that this file is from a reliable source, as JSON files may potentially include malicious content. Insert it. Over here, we can align the animation. Caption, you can control the text below the animation. If you'd like the animation to link elsewhere, such as for a button, you can add a link here. Next, click the settings dropdown to control the animation's behavior. First, select the trigger, which as it sounds, what action will set off the animation. By default, it's set to viewport, so it will begin as soon as the animation comes into view. We'll go through the other triggers shortly, but first we'll review the settings under the viewport trigger, as most of them apply to the other triggers as well. The viewport setting, which is available for the viewport and scroll triggers, determines when to begin the movement based on the viewport height, meaning the visible size of the device screen. Loop will set the animation to continuous, and when selected, you can choose how many times you'd like the animation to play. Leave it empty for an infinite loop. As it sounds, play speed sets the speed at which the animation plays. Reverse animation will change the animation to play in the opposite direction. Start point and end point, you can change where in the loop the animation begins and ends, so you can choose to only play the animation from and to whichever point works for your design. Depending on your needs, here you can choose the renderer type, SVG or Canvas. To improve your page loading time, set the lazy load switch to yes, and the animation will load only when visible to the user. Now go back to the trigger options and select on click. Play the animation when clicked. If you added a link to the animation, you can set how long the animation should play before the link is opened in link timeout. The next trigger is on hover, and as it suggests, animation will play when hovered over. And here on hover out, we can select to reverse or pause when we move the cursor off the animation, and whether the animation begins when hovering over the animation, column, or the whole section. The scroll trigger starts animation upon scrolling, and you can choose whether the effect should be relative to the viewport or the entire page. Let's preview it for a better look. Lastly, we have the none trigger. The animation will begin playing as soon as the page loads. Moving on to style, where you can set the animation width and max width, as well as its normal and hover styles. Drag the opacity to make the animation semi-transparent, and play with the CSS filters. Change the blur, brightness, contrast, saturation, and hue. The Lottie animation settings are complete, and our cyclist is moving those wheels, but he's not actually getting anywhere. Let's have a motion effect so he can get across the terrain.
Okay. Now the rest of it goes into just regular column and so on and so forth settings. And now Brian was right about getting you this link here. This is the link to the Elementor blog. I'll put this in chat. I can do that now. Let's see here. I have that. This has links to both of these videos and an explanation. So let me find chat. Why don't I see chat? Oh, here we go. Okay. Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. All righty. So you can find links to these videos at this address. And I wanted to show you real quickly. I think there's still some bugs in this because let's do what they had done, and I played around with this yesterday. So we're going to add a new item. I'm going to search Lottie. Can't see here, my eyes are getting too old. Lottie, a Lottie file. Slide that right in there. Okay, now this is an Elementor. This is sort of like a placeholder one, and we can see that just like it showed in the video, you can play with the width, make it different sizes. But I'm going to add another one. I'm going to do the JSON file that I downloaded. Put a different one here. And get rid of that by right-clicking and deleting. And so I'm going to click on this, and it's asking for the source. So click to upload, and this is that same JSON file that I had you saw me download. I'm going to pick that. I believe it is. And thing is, though, it doesn't show up here in the editor.
Why not?
But I think it's a bug, because if I go to update it, and then I go to view page,
It's there.
it's right there.
It's right there. Gotcha. We can't see that really good.
Excuse me a sec. Okay, and now if we go back to, let's go back to edit with Elementor. So I'm hoping we're going to see an update here in the next few weeks or so. So that we'll have that fixed. But I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to adjust it, make the width. I'm going to go to pixels, step percentage, so make it 300 pixels, and save. And we'll go back and view page. Let's see. Now that looks a lot smaller than 300 pixels, but
Yeah.
if I do the inspect on it, you can see that there's more to the image than just what you see. So you have to take into account for some of those Lottie files. So that's that. Let's go back to, let's see here. I'm going to back here and show this one. This is.
Hi all, it's Vic from Elementor. Today, I'll show you how to create multi-step forms with Elementor's visual form builder, allowing your customers and leads to fill in their information in smaller steps, making your long forms, such as registration or shipping forms, less intimidating and much easier to complete and submit. So let's dive in.
Are you sharing something with us, Gary? Because we can't see it.
This form is kind of long.
There we go.
That's 5 fields.
See it now?
Into a multi-step
We can.
to make it easy to fill in and submit. One will include the name and age field.
We're looking at your slides.
And step 3 is the content. Let's start off by adding a new item to the form. I'll set it
You see the video plan?
As you can see, once I do that,
Yes.
the submit button becomes the next button. And a new item is automatically added to the top of the form. This item is the first step. I'll go ahead and type that in the label, just so things are clear. All fields under it are part of step 1. Currently, all fields are included because the step field we added is positioned at the bottom of the list. Let's change that. I'll go ahead and drag it under the age field. So now it acts as a separator, and the form is split in two. This is step 2. I'll also type the label over here. Now, let's check out what we have so far. Okay, great. Now, let's add the third step. I'll simply duplicate this one and drag it over here, right under this field. So the last 2 fields are part of step 3. I'll change the label to, so it's clear. Let's see it again. Cool. Now, let's check out some other settings we can play around with to make our new multi-step form stand out. Let's start with step 1. You can change the previous and next button text over here. This text is step specific, so only applies to the buttons in the step. If you want to change the text for all buttons, go to the buttons drop down and set it over here. Icon allows us to upload or choose an icon from the library to show inside the step circle. In order for it to be visible though, we need to make sure that type in the step settings drop-down is set to icon. As you can see, there are many options to choose from. We can also choose a shape. Let's go back to the form field and click on step 2. It has the same settings as step 1. So if you want, for example, to give each step an icon. The same applies for all step fields in your form. Let's move on to the Style tab and see what we can play around with. In the Buttons drop-down, it's pretty straightforward. You can give the Next and Submit buttons a background, text, and border color. Same goes for the previous button. And set their style for hover as well. In the Steps drop-down, we can style things even more. You can set the typography, control the spacing, and padding, and set both primary and secondary colors for the inactive, active, and completed state. And over here, you can set the divider width and gap. Let's check it out. Cool. There are many more types and styles to play around with, such as using a progress bar, for example. You'll have some new styling options as well, specifically for this type. As you can see, you can give the current step a background color, as well as the upcoming one. Control the height, as well as the border radius. And for percentage, you can also set the typography and change the color. And that's it. Now you know how to create multi-step forms with Elementor's Visual Form Builder, allowing your customers and leads to fill in their information in smaller steps, creating a positive user experience and increasing conversions. Have fun playing around, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips and tutorials. Ciao for now.
Okay. Well, according to Elementor, that the multi-step form was the #1 requested feature. So let me see, make sure I'm sharing the right thing. That's right. When I go full screen, can y'all still see the share? Okay.
Yes, we
I'm
can.
not getting any. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All righty. So good. I thought I lost y'all. Okay. So we're now going to move on to some Woocommerce and Elementor stuff. But before we do that, let's get back to all of us. I wanted to get a real quick. Elementor wants us to have to take a kind of a census of who you are or where you are in your journey. So I'm going to pop up a real quick poll. If I could get y'all to fill out just three quick questions. It helps Elementor know what kind of folks are coming to meetups, and then I see people filling out. We'll do this for another 30 seconds or so, or until we get 100% of people doing it. Okay, I think most everybody is. It's going to do it. It's done it. Oh, wait, still coming. Okay. That's a minute. Okay. So this is, I'll share it with you. Can y'all see that? Okay. So most of us are kind of in the middle, either beginner, a little experience. So that's good to know. So we're going to start next. We're going to move over to the next part of our deal. We're going to talk about Woocommerce. We're going to go over the product page, product archive page, and we can actually do a fair amount with Elementor on the product page and the product archive page, but we really can't do a whole lot with Elementor Pro with the cart page and checkout page. But I'm going to point you in a direction where there's some resources that can do more with that. But I'm going to show you a little bit about the product page and the product archive page. So I'm going to go back and share my browser now. Okay, and let's see. Let's go to do with this. I've got I copied over an existing little shop that we did a couple weeks ago for a client, and she does paintings. This is her her shop page, if you will. See if I can make it a little smaller so it's easier to see. And she's got different size paintings. And she specifically wanted the images to not be all the same size because not all the paintings are the same size. So that was something to take into consideration. And let me admit somebody here. Okay. So this is what, and then if we click on an individual product page, this is the way that her live site, the product page is. And in this particular instance, this is a variable product, meaning that they come in two different sizes. So they choose the option, let's say 10 by 20, and then the price is set. And then we can go add to cart. So we can then this is the cart page, and then you can view the cart. Actually, that's the product page. This is the cart page. I'm going to delete that. Then we can proceed to checkout. And of course, we don't have Stripe hooked into this because this is not a live site. So this would normally have the credit card information in it. And so let's go back and let's add one from scratch. So let's do a single product, and we'll call it start here. So we're going to do a single product. I'm going to add a 2-column section, and I'm going to, as from a meetup, some of y'all remember from a while ago, we want to just best practice, have every section have a padding on the right and left of 20, and the nested columns inside have padding of 20 all around. I'm going to right-click on that, copy the style, and then I'm going to paste the style there. So that has 20 and 20. And the reason we do this is if you've ever built a page and then you've built the desktop version of it, and then you go back and you start looking, well, what's it going to look like when I go to tablet or mobile? Then you have to start tweaking things. If we do some of these things up front and just putting those extra little bit of padding in a uniform way, in a consistent way, it just flows down nicely to mobile without having to mess with it so much. So we've set that. We're going to make this column a third, 33.33. Going to make this column goes to 66, so that adds up to 100. So first thing we're going to add, you'll notice that because we're in the single product template file, knows we use Woocommerce, it gives us all these product things to send in. So we're going to drop that in there. Now, this color and font is being pulled from in this particular instance, it's being pulled from the customizer settings because it just flows downhill. But we can obviously edit that to change it, the style. So we can change the color, the typography. But we're not going to mess with that. Then we're going to go back over here, get a product image, and we're going to have that be like so. Then we're going to get us a description, find the short description. We'll drop that in here. This is all being pulled from the product entry. So we've got that. So we can see that we have quite a few things in the product to choose from that we can add and move around in any way we want. So let's put the price in now. You see price varies from $175 to $375, and then how about we add the cart section right here. Okay, so now you notice, like we showed in the other one, we have the option to choose. So that's all part of the add to cart because this is a variable product. So now let's add a new section that's 1 column wide. And again, I'm going to set the padding on the left and the right to 20. And then I'm going to make the table have padding 20 all around. Okay, so now I'm going to add what they call a product data table. Let's see if we can find there, or tabs rather. And this way people can get more information. This obviously doesn't have any reviews yet, so we've got that in there. Then let's see what else we might want to add. Then we might have related products. Where do we find that? Here we go. We'll add that. And the way that that works is that tends to go by categories. And in this particular instance, all these paintings are in the same category. They're masterpiece glissés. So, so that's how that's chosen. And we can control how many products are shown on the page, or how many columns. But we can go, say, 2 columns, which is a little big. Go there, and we can update. And we'll say, where do we want to display? We'll say include all products. So that is going to be the new, that is going to be the template. So let's go back and exit the dashboard, and we'll go to Theme Builder, go to Single Product, and I'm going to take the old template and change it to draft and save it. So now this, should be out of commission, and the new template should be in place. So let's go back to the gallery, and let's look at this product, and now we see it's got the new layout. So we can control some things nicely in Elementor. Now there are some things that it depends on the theme that you have, but you can control some things in the customizer. Like for instance, these images here. What if we wanted them to be all square? Go to Customizer. And see, I'm using the Astra theme. So it has a Woocommerce thing, go Product Images. It has uncropped because remember I told you the lady didn't want them cropped. And this is, if we go 1-to-1, it will make them all square. But we'll go back, get out of that. We're going to say, we'll say, okay, we don't want that for now. So we've got this product page laid out using Elementor. Okay, now let's go look at, you can see this, the gallery page. And this is what the gallery page looks like now. Let's go to the product archive and create a product archive page. So I got this, and edit with Elementor. Okay, so we're going to add another section, and we'll do the 20 and 20 again. And I'm going to make a margin 60 on the top and bottom. And then, let's see, we're going to add the title widget. Let's see, do I want one column? Yeah, title widget. Now you see over here, when we add items, we don't have near as many things to work with. We can put the title here, but let's see what we can do with that. We click on that wrench. We can include context or not. Let's cut that off so it just says products. And then the advanced, we can say Karen La Fontaine products. A little bit more contextual. So then we can add the archives page. Add the archives. And these are the archives. And you see, there's not a lot we can do with Elementor in this. Can't do much. We can style. We can make this centered, which we'd like to do. We can change. We can put borders around the pictures. We can affect column spacing. We can edit the typography of the title, the ratings if we had them in effect, the price. We can change the size of the typography, make the color different, and we have control over the button, hover states, and the spacing. If you go back to the image, the spacing controls the spacing below. So we can affect spacing, the title, spacing. It's always below. So if we were to make this our template for the shop page, and before we do that, let's look at what it has now. What I did in the real site is I had added a section above where I added in, you saw me before where we added just the title. I actually added the title and then a text box to explain how things work, and we put a button with a little bit more information, and then we put in the archive section, the products archives. But we'll go ahead and go with this. This is just the demo site, so we'll update that. We'll say add condition, all product archives. Now, if you had different kinds of products, you could separate it into categories, but we just have the one category. So we'll save, and I'm going to go back to my theme builder and go to my product archive, and this had been the one that we had been using. I'm going to quick edit it and make it draft and update it. And so this should take over. So let's go look. So go back to the home page. We get a chance to reload. And shop gallery. Okay, see what we've shown here. Now, we can do some more with the customizer, depending on what theme you use. As I said, this is Astra. I played around with the Hello theme, which is Elementor's. It has some Woocommerce adjustments. Anybody else that uses a different theme that's done in this can chime in and say if they have any kind of tools that help with this. But here we can say the product images, we can say 1-to-1, which make them square. We can do that in the customizer. Let's see what else we can do. We can make adjust the number of columns, how many products show up. We can make these things appear or disappear. I turn that off. The price goes away, or make the price go in. So we have some control with the customizer. So between the Elementor and customizer, we can have a fair amount of control over the product archive page and a single product. But when it comes to the checkouts and, the cart page and the checkout page, you don't nearly have that kind of control. But there are some options, and I'll explain those to you in a sec. But let's take a look at, let's say, I'm going to, let's see, do I have anything in the cart? I think I do. Yep, I do. Okay. So let's edit with Elementor. I have a cart page template, but all there really is there's a title and then some text explaining how things work, and this is the cart page. And you say, well, how did that get there? Well, if you let's add another. Scroll down here. Add a column. Or excuse me, a section. And table or column. Okay. So now I'm going to add this. I'm going to search Woocommerce. Woocommerce. And let's see here. Woocommerce pages. So I can select what kind of page I want to put there. So we go cart page, or if I wanted to have a checkout page, it could go there. So that's an interesting one to look for. So basically what, and I can delete this now, this section, because that's what basically is going on here. It's a Woocommerce page. It's been dropped in there. So that's how the shopping cart page is created, and how essentially the checkout page could be created. Now, that being said, let's go back to our resources. There's a tool called Elementor. There's a free version and a paid version. I'll give you links in the chat here in a second, where you can do a fair amount of editing to Woocommerce with Elementor. Most of the good stuff that you can do, you have to use the paid version. And in the description of the free version, they've got plenty of links linking you over to the pro version, so you can check that out. And then there's the Plus add-on for Elementor, which has in their system Plus listings. They've got lots of styling things that you can do and filters, like you can control. This is a paid plugin, so it. But they've got a lot of documentation. So if you're interested in really kind of styling them up nice, you might check out that product too. So let me drop some of these links in here. I've also got under a link to a Elementor video done by WP Tuts. They do pretty good stuff. And so let me find the chat, and I'll drop those links in here. Okay, I've added those links in the chat if you need to reference those. And so I think we're moving along here. How are we doing on time, Brian?
Got 8 minutes. Trying to unmute myself. You got 8 minutes.
Okay. Well, let's use that for some extra questions. because I think we're ready to move on to questions. Let's stop the sharing and let's see, because I know that Sharice had sent in a question, and we'll get to hers during the question and answer session. Since we have a little bit extra time before we start the question and answers, anybody have any questions about what we've talked about so far? Anybody muted and don't realize it? Okay.
Hey, Carrie, I'm sorry, it's Sharice. I was muted. I sent 2 questions in the chat in regards to what you
Right.
just presented.
Oh, in the chat?
Yes.
I saw it come through the, let's see here.
You sent it in the group chat, Sharice? I don't see
No,
it.
directly to him privately.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's not.
Oh,
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Karen.
let's see. Okay, let me see here.
Sorry, Brian, I didn't know you were monitoring.
How can you edit the additional information tab? Well, that's more of a Woocommerce question. Let's see if I can quickly find that out for you. I think you have, let's see here.
That's okay. I just thought maybe you might have known. We can do that offline.
Okay. Well, let's see. WooCommerce products.
So I was able to add to it using the attributes, but I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
able to remove, like for example, the site that I'm building requires weight. And if I'm using the weight, if I exclude the weight, then obviously it would not appear. But if I wanted to use the weight in addition to something else, I had to use the attribute to actually incorporate that into that box. And I didn't know if there was another way to do it.
Well, I think that's the only way that I know of. It's like you could, you know, and then you'd have to send some kind of values, and then you could use them for variations. But there are lots of add-ons for WooCommerce to give it a lot of extra functionality. It's one of the things about WooCommerce that kind of not so great is WooCommerce is very constricted and constrained in what it can and can't do, or what it will and won't do, and they get you on the add-ons. Like I have a subscription add-on for WooCommerce. It might cost $200, and you got to pay it again renew every year. So you know, there are different add-ons that can extend what WooCommerce can do. Maybe what you're looking for to do this, what this particular WooCommerce is doing, the site, it's just WooCommerce out of the box, and then of course you know, tweaking it with Elementor. But we certainly can. Do you have any? Does anybody else have anything to offer on that of Sharice's question? Anybody worked with WooCommerce before? Okay, Sharice. Well, we'll get back. We'll get back to me, and we'll see if we can figure that out for you later on.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so then let's see. We are probably about 3 minutes away from the regular time for the questions anyway, right, Brian? Okay.
3 minutes
Let's
Q&A.
see.
Carrie, I have a question if you don't mind. This is Barbara.
Sure, go right ahead. Okay.
Since you say WooCommerce is somewhat, constrictive, what other platform do you recommend using outside of WooCommerce for building a shopping plugin like that?
Well, for if it's going to be inside of WordPress, WooCommerce is about the biggest the game in town. I mean, and part of that is because it got popular over the years, but also, without sounding conspiratorial,
No.
Automatic, which is the company that quote unquote owns WordPress, although they give WordPress away. They also have WordPress.com. Automatic bought WooCommerce a year and a half ago, so they sort of have an interest in its being used for WordPress. That's not to say there are not other shopping solutions. What I hear from people that if they don't use WooCommerce, they use Shopify, and I don't think I think that's a different platform. But if you're going to build a complicated store, WooCommerce is not the way to go, because it's too much labor. The first WooCommerce site I built 7 years ago was a lady who sold. She had a store on Etsy, and she sold quilting fabric. And people in the quilting industry have all these special terms about the size and how many and so on and so forth. And she sold all this stuff on Etsy, but she wanted to have her own website. So she had products which were pieces of cloth, basically, different patterns, but they had different sizes. There were 3 or 4 different attributes that each one had, and then they affected the shipping rates, and you've got taxes. And now notice this site that I was just showing you doesn't have any taxes involved because she's going to build the tax into the sale rather than having to mess with tax tables, because that's complicated. But anyway, this lady I built out about 12 products for her so that she could see how they're set up, and trained her on how to do it. But she ended up she had 300 products. Wow. And she had the website for 2 or 3 years and was selling stuff, quite a bit, but she decided it was too much work keeping it up with the WooCommerce. So she went back over to Etsy. So and there's lots of solutions out there for selling things. WooCommerce works for if you're going to have 20 or 30 products, but it also allows you could do subscriptions. You could sell courses. You could do other things than just products. You can do virtual products. You can do physical products. It kind of depends on what you're doing. But if you're going to be selling a lot of things, and they're going to change, because then you got to manage inventory. Some of these e-commerce solutions kind of handle all that for you, but you kind of have to do it yourself with WooCommerce. So it kind of depends on what you're going to be doing, but there's a fair amount of stuff to set up each one. So
okay,
be interested in hear what you end up doing.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Okay. All righty, Brian, I think it's time for the regular question and answer. And we had sent out the thing hopefully y'all saw that. About if you had any questions, go ahead and submit them. And we only really received one from Sharice.
Yeah, we do have a question from Kim Davison and Wayne. Kim's question is regarding Woocommerce. Is Woocommerce a good choice for selling tickets to an event?
I would think you might want to check out the events plugin. I think you can do that. You can hook that up to Stripe. Let's see here. Make sure. I'm not going to let it go by, Sharice. We'll get you. There's my Zoom thing. Let me share in Google Chrome.
And Wayne had a question about compliance. I think we can take that once we break out.
Okay. The events calendar, WordPress plugin. Actually, I'm going to be building a site that's going to be using this here in the next 6 weeks. Calendar and tickets. Might check this out. Just the eventscalendar.com. They have a free version. They also have a paid version, and I believe you can sell tickets, RSVs and tickets, sell tickets with event tickets. So that's very popular, and in fact, there are a couple of big name themes that have incorporated the free version of this into their theme. You know, like, but we don't use themes anymore. We use Elementor. We build our own themes. So that might be the suggestion for that. So okay, so Brian, you're gonna take say Wayne had a question. You want me to put y'all in a breakout room? You're muted, Brian.
Yeah, you can. I did some research on it, so I can help. Unless you have any advice about compliance with Elementor. I found a couple of plugins as well as a tutorial.
When you say
Elementor.
compliance, what do you mean?
Disability, Americans with American Disability Act, ADA.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, you can break me, him, and I.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can.
Okay, so Wayne and Brian, I'm going to put you in a breakout room. Let's see if we can make this work. Sign Brian and Wayne and okay. Let's see. We'll let y'all be in there for 15 minutes or so. And of course, y'all can go yourself. So,
Carrie, this is Barbara. I'm gonna actually have to go, but this has been awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Okay.
okay. Well, we'll record the rest. We're recording this, so we'll send it out a link later on that you can go. So.
Okay.
Okay. Close all.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
I'm still here. There we go.
No, we're all in the breakout room. Maybe not. Okay, good. All righty. So, Sharice, let me go back and look at what you had written. Sharice, messages. You had said, with regard to your screen captures, and I'm going to let you talk in a second. I'm going to pull them both up, and I think this is the first one.
Do you want me to share my screen or?
Well, I'm going to share what you sent me, and then we can talk about it, and then you might share your screen.
Oh,
okay, that's what you sent me.
Yes.
Okay, now tell me what you were wanting to do.
So you see underneath all the way at the bottom, the small writing, you can, it's very tiny.
Like right here? No, that's the, okay, I'm going to let you share the screen.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop sharing, and then I believe you should have the ability to share your screen. Okay.
Can you see it now? Because I have dual monitors, I think.
Yep.
You're on the right one.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yep.
right here at the bottom, you see how tiny that is? I can't figure out, I know going into, so it's very small at 100%. And I know last time when I spoke with Liz, she had showed me how to go in and inspect the element. But once I get in there, I'm not able to determine what I'm supposed to be changing, you know, if that makes any sense. Like I can see.
Okay, so let's okay. So go ahead and click on the one that you want. Go and right click and inspect. Okay, and let's see here. What we want to do is find the font size. Okay, so the font size is, we need to, now this is in a WooCommerce page, right? Okay, so what we need to do is, let's see, WooCommerce.
So it's actually built with the Elementor theme builder, but obviously it is WooCommerce built driven.
Okay, so we see that, well, what you would have to do, it might take some experimentation, but you see where it says inherited from H2, but it has the list of all the darkened classes. You cut those are, if you cut and paste, you probably don't want the ones with numbers, because those are probably specific to products. So I would say take the last two, select the last two. It says Elementor, WC products. And start with, I don't know if, let me see if I can, I don't have annotations turned on here. If you were to take, if you look at it, you see you've got the last class that's listed there is WooCommerce-loop-product_title. Okay, and then before that, you've got Lee product, UL product, and then Elementor. There you go. So we want starting from there all the way to the end of where it says product_title.
Whoops. This is what I do. I always mess.
We want to cut and paste. We want to copy that. Okay, Control or Command C that, and put it on a notepad or something.
Okay.
Okay, but perfect. Now let's go back. Can you get to the Elementor? Edit with Elementor. This page.
That's because I did a zoom in. Let me decrease the size.
Yeah, let's go with it. Okay. Okay, yeah. And just click on Edit with Elementor up at the top black bar and let's see what your options are. Okay, so single product. Okay, so let's click on that. Okay, let's make sure that that section is selected. Okay, those are related products. Okay. Okay, now go over to Advanced. Up. Okay, click on that. Then scroll down to the bottom. Click on Custom CSS. Type in Selector. Okay. In front of that, type in Selector. And get a space. And then paste what you just had there.
What does that do,
And then
Gary?
space. I'm sorry?
What does that do, the selector?
That narrows the CSS down to that particular section. Because if you were to look at the actual inspector of that, there's layer upon layer upon layer of divs, and this helps it helps you better
Okay.
isolate what you're trying to work on.
Wow.
In fact, we might then put a curly bracket, open curly bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then hit enter. Okay, then put font size dash size and 20, just to see if it's going to affect the pixels.
Do I need a semicolon to end that or no?
You need the 20 pixels, px, and then a semicolon. Yeah. Okay, so we're not seeing any changes. So let's see. Just take out everything except the last class and leave the selector in. So you can take away, yeah, let's see. No, yeah, yep.
Whoops. The lead product, take that out. Is that what you're saying?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. And then take out Elementor, WC product, and take out UL products, because we may be overqualifying that. Okay. Alrighty. Doesn't seem to be doing it. Well, this would be how we would go about doing it. We need to identify
What that is.
What I think in your original question you asked about where do you find in the CSS the definition is, but you don't you can find what CSS is affecting it. Let's go back to your inspector on that page that you were showing us, if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's.
No, it's going so slow.
Okay, that is pretty small. Okay, so is there a way, the way you've got your setup, to be able to show the inspector and because what I do is I open this inspector and I break it out and then have it to the side of the page so I can see the page and the inspector at the same time.
Yeah, so Liz showed me that one time. This is like the third time I've been in here.
Okay, there you go. Okay, that's good.
There was a way she did it. How did she? it was like something she clicked here or something to make it so that I could see both. But I can reduce the size, I guess.
That's good. Now just slide that over to the left. Slide your inspector window over to the left. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I went to the left. That's the left. That's my left. You want me to go to right?
I don't see it moving at all.
Really? Oh my.
There. Now it's starting to. Okay.
I know there's a way to so that you can see the screen too, and I don't know how to do that.
Well, you can make it underneath or on the side, but
yeah.
But okay, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
Now move it. Now drag that up to where we can see the text. Or we want to be able to see both. Okay. Okay, so we can see that the font size is 10 pixels. So let's see. Just you go in, put your cursor over 10 pixels in where it's showing the font size.
So, right here. Okay. Yes.
Yep.
And
Just
change that.
Click there. Click there. Double click it where you can edit it. I think you should be able to.
Yes.
Okay, so make it 20 and see if it actually does change it. Okay.
Oh, it did. Look.
Yep. So there is a combination of
Cool.
new product title that is Elementor. Okay. So we're in the right area. So can you go back to where you're editing the page with Elementor, where we had put in the selector and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. After where it says font size 20 pixels. No, there you go, right there. Yeah. Put a space. Type a space. Put an exclamation point or exclamation mark.
Oh, important.
Type important. Yep. There you go.
Ah, I'm typing. I'm not looking over there. Okay, cool. Awesome.
So then you can change the font size to the size you want.
Right. So that's right. That's what Liz was telling me. I now remember the exclamation point important overrides everything else, right?
Right.
Okay, cool.
And
awesome.
So you can and then if you wanted to, you could also put in media queries. You familiar with that?
No, but I'll Google it.
Well, yeah, you can Google. In fact, that's not really Elementor specific, but you can do a media query to where you can say when it gets to a certain, like for a tablet. Well, actually, you can, but it's easier to do it this way. When it gets to a certain size, you can change the font. But you're on a good start now, so we'll see how we go about doing it.
Thank you. I have a question though. Why did it change the font style? So it went from the lobster to what is this, probably Arial or something? You see how this is no longer like this, which I'm fine with. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with this. I don't know if she'll be the lady before it's going to be fine with it, but
okay.
So I just kind of I'm just wondering like why we didn't specify in here to change the style. We just did the size and then it changed the complete display of that.
That without digging into it, I can't tell you. But you could go in. You could go in and specify lobster as the
style,
the font,
yeah,
as well.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But make sure when you do that, you have well, I think what you've got, probably the way that it's in the style sheet is lobster, sans serif, or Arial, sans serif, or Helvetica, because it defaulted to. But you can go back and add that particular font family to that selector, and that should be fine.
Okay. Thanks, Carrie. I have that one last question in regards to this triangle.
Okay.
Do you know are we doing the same thing, doing the inspector, inspect element to locate this triangle?
That looks like an after. Click on and see where. Okay, click on it and right click. Okay.
So
Now in your see that blue bar that is where it says div class payment button.
Yes.
Underneath that blue bar, you see the colon after.
Yes.
So
every time I click into the bullet, then that triangle follows.
Okay, it's interesting.
I thought so. I was able to change everything else going and just based off of what Liz showed me, but I wasn't able to locate how to change that triangle. Like I changed the font color because it was some funky colors, like it was weird.
Right.
Right.
And
I was, yeah.
Well, what I usually do is try to go up above there after, and it says div class payment box.
Yes.
The little triangle to the left, open it up and see what's inside.
Oh, okay. Oh, before.
Let's see what before does. I think that's it.
So,
so
the before, okay. So how do we?
So what do we
color?
see here?
I don't see anything.
Well, it's probably. It looks like it's using.
So before.
For.
I don't even see a color associated with that.
Yeah, there's. You can see it underneath the border. It says. It says pound DFDCDE.
What?
The top three that say content display border, then it says 1 EM solid, and then it shows because it ran the 2 lines.
Yes. Okay.
So why don't you type that color, type a different hex code in there and see if that changes it.
Okay.
Just make it 0, 0, all zeros, 6 zeros.
Yeah,
there you go.
You're the best. Oh my gosh. I'll send you a virtual coffee.
Okay, so
thank you.
And then you'll have to do the Elementor thing and find out how that it's done. But you know that it can be done.
Yeah.
And you might take a screen capture of this so you can.
Oh yeah, that would be smart.
Find it.
Yeah. Okay. Because I kept clicking on stuff and I'm like, what the heck? And it's so hard. Another time when we have another meeting, I want to understand more of this inspect element, because looking at this, it can drive you bonkers for sure.
Yeah, I use it all the time. And of course, sometimes when you first go in there, you don't realize how much is hidden because you have to open up those triangles and see what's inside. There might be 4 divs inside with 1 div that's closed, so you kind of have to burrow into there. So
yeah,
hopefully that's helpful.
It's very helpful. Thank you so much. I'm almost done with this thing. I'm so glad. Thank you.
Okay, you bet. I'm going to take over the screen.
Okay.
Let's stop listening. Do you want to continue? And we'll go back to. Let's see here. How are we doing on? Did you come back, Brian? I saw that the. Okay.
Yes.
So how are we doing on time?
Wayne and I.
We're
about 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay. So let me. not share. So did y'all get the thing figured out?
Yeah, we got them pointed in the right direction. I forgot I had
Okay.
watched. I had attended a seminar at WordCamp 2019 with a young lady who did a great speech on a talk on accessibility. So that should be good for 'em.
Okay. Okay,
Before
cool.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you started to say something before.
No, I was just saying that between that and a plug-in that I pointed him to, I think he should really have a good, solid understanding of the accessibility.
Okay. Let's see, but does anybody have any other questions? We're pretty much out of time, but if you have a question that you really need help with that we haven't gotten to, feel free to message me in the meetup. You know, you can, I sent a couple of messages to y'all yesterday. You can answer back or just with a question, and maybe we can answer it in an email, or maybe we can get on a call, but I want to be able to be there to help y'all. So any other thing that people need or anything else you think we need to cover, Brian? Or, yeah.
No, nothing that I can think of. I do want to take a second and notice Mr. Chad Eller's beautiful hat he has there. He looks like he was in Signal Corps, I believe. I grew up in a Signal Corps house. So
yes, sir. That's me. That's the reason I'm here. I'm very happy to be part of this group. If everybody, I'll post it in the chat. If you can just take a look at what I've got started. I'm going to be doing, I've spent 2 months going over size, color, so that everybody will be happy or comfortable when they go to my website.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting ready to integrate my phone service and my phone systems into the website when my customers log in.
Okay.
And so far, I've probably went through about 3 bottles of Tylenol trying to get everything I'm supposed to. I'm good at the database side. The design and what makes people comfortable is a different story. So I found you guys, and I'm kind of jumping up and down about that.
Okay.
I just,
well,
good.
you know, I'll put some more stuff in there, but however I can help or, you know, be part of this group, I'm looking forward to it. I love this product.
Well, we look forward to having you participate more, and we'll be doing this again. Let's see here. I think it
Are we going to start doing this like once a month?
Oh, we are going. We do it once a month.
Okay.
Let's see here. Google Chrome. We do.
I was
this.
actually kind of scared to ask for people's opinions. You know, I've kind of kept that to myself. You know how some people are, but I think you guys are nice.
Yeah. Oh, no. We all here to help each other. Our next meetup is going to be online again, and it'll be Thursday, July 9th.
Okay.
We normally, where are you located?
I'm in Locust Grove.
Where do you live? Okay. I don't
But
know
I've
how far
got-
that'll work.
Well, I've got
how far
customers
that
all
is
over the
from you.
country. So, right down below McDonough, Stockbridge, south Atlanta.
Because when we have our live meetup, we do it in Lawrenceville, Georgia, at a co-working space.
So we don't do this online. We actually, everybody gets face to face.
Well, that's the way it normally works. But when this COVID thing came along, we started doing it online.
Okay.
So the next one's going to be Thursday, July 9th, and it will be online. And, you know, Brian, we may talk about that because we've had a number of people come that are from far away. Mm-hmm. And we do know from experience, because Brian and I are part of another meetup. It's more of a general WordPress meetup in Lawrenceville, and sometimes geography and location affects people's ability to get there and or traffic. So
Especially in Lawrenceville.
Yep.
I got 2 customers up there, and I lose 5 hours getting there and back.
Yeah. So, Brian, we may talk about whether or not, we might think about
Doing a virtual.
do both.
Yeah.
So, but we can, let's not bite off more than we can chew until we've been chewing a while. So,
Yeah.
because this is only the second one of these online ones we've done, because we've been doing them in person. So we're still kind of figuring this out, and so we appreciate you all volunteering to be guinea pigs, the second round of guinea pigs, and but at least we have an opportunity to talk about it. So.
Yeah, and the more interest that we get in it, more people interested, it may push us to virtual, because we have 25, 30. I think we had over 25 people RSVP this time, but looks like we have 9, 10, 11 that have joined us today. So,
it tends to run about 50% of the people who actually RSVP actually show up. Because last month there were 55 RSVPs and 26 showed up, something like that. That I was part of the Elementors doing a tour around the world doing their own meetups, and they had one in Denver last week, and there was like 167 people had RSVP'd and about 80 showed up. So it's about, it's about 50%, you can kind of think. So, all righty. I appreciate everyone coming, and hopefully there was something helpful. And
yes.
Please keep an eye on your emails and stuff, because we'll be sending out information about and the next meetup here in the next week or so. It will be on, I think it's July 9th on a Thursday, but more specifics about what it's going to be. And feel free to message me in the meetup about what kind of stuff you want to hear about. Because we talked about Woocommerce and we talked about some other things, but you tell us what you want to learn, and because I learn by helping you learn, and I think that's not the case with Brian too. So anyway, we're out of time, and I really appreciate y'all coming, and hasta luego, chicos.
Everyone, thank
Thanks
you.
for having me
Thanks,
today.
Carrie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
You bet.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Thanks, Brian, for helping.